You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Welcome to the Public Health Entrepreneurs, the podcast for visionary leaders who are ready to transform public health and healthcare through innovation. I'm your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and as a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and public health, I understand the unique challenges and opportunities that come with bridging multiple disciplines. If you're a high-functioning leader with expertise across different fields, whether you're a medical doctor, pharmacist, dentist who also has a public health degree, or a public health doctor who also has expertise in another field, or any other interdisciplinary professional, you know what it's like to see opportunities that others miss. Sometimes having this unique perspective can feel a little isolating, especially when it seems as though others around you aren't as excited or open to your ideas. You may even feel a little bit of divide across the different disciplines or fields of expertise that you own. I definitely understand, and it's why we have focused this podcast, especially this, I understand, and it's why we focus this podcast to provide you with the type of support that you need. Now, on this episode, we are going to dive into the topic of why you should be having conversations about networking on an ongoing basis. First of all, I'm going to point out that as an interdisciplinary professional, you have a very valuable network. Whether you view it that way or not, I want you to just realize that you do have a very valuable network. It took me a while to embrace that. But you've been on this journey for a while, this career journey. You've got colleagues who are in probably these different niche areas that you own expertise. And so it's really important for you to note that whether or not you are optimizing LinkedIn or you connect with people through email or their contacts on your phone, whatever that looks like for you, your network is really rich. So as we begin to dive into this topic, I want to start with a little bit of a watch out. I think I'll start there because what prompted me to bring this conversation to this specific episode is certainly I've talked about networking on many other episodes of the podcast. If you scroll back, I give you some tactical advice and some tips about networking and what to do and how to do it. That still is very relevant, but I thought I would start to give you some examples of why to help you embrace that. So one of the things is, like I said, realizing that you have a rich network. Most of us in this industry, especially thinking about consultants, we are getting our clients primarily through our network of close connections. People do business with who they know and who they like and trust. That's kind of a, well stated across our industry. So when you're looking to get your first client or your next client, you are likely going to land them through your connections, people that you already know, maybe place that you've worked with before. It is not uncommon for a consultant to have their first client be their previous employer. That's very common. That was my case as well. They already know your work, they know you, they like you, and you're clear on the problem that they need to solve, and they know their work ethics and that you can do it. And so that's often a common place that you get your first client. You also can get your client from maybe not your immediate previous employer, but maybe through someone you know and their employer. So it's your network and then the people that you know and who they're connected with. It's like the secondary field. And that's also where the magic really surfaces. So it's really important that the people around you know what you do and the problem that you solve, because they already like you and they trust you and they want to support you. So if they're really clear on that, then they know how to bring you the right clients and how to connect you with the right people. So sometimes, this networking is really a matter of staying up to date and current with your people that you know, making sure that they understand what you do and who you serve. That is so important. I don't know how to get that across any more. So there's a situation where, say, your mother or aunt or some relative that you have is really excited about what you do, and they're a networker, natural connectors, and they're going to connect people to you. And maybe they're always bringing you people or introducing you to people, but they're not the right people. Imagine how powerful it could be if they really understood what you did and what you do in your business. Then they'll know how to cipher through and bring you the right people. So if your network of people around you, your relatives, your colleagues, coworkers, family members, friends, neighbors, if these people know what you do and understand the type of clients that you're seeking, then they're going to bring you those type of connections. And that's what you want. So let's dive into this a little bit more. I have a client who recently shared a story with me. In fact, we were in our mastermind retreat and she was sharing an update, and she was telling a story and she was going in one direction, but she mentioned this new client that she was starting to work with, this opportunity that come up. So I was like, oh, well, how did you connect with that client? And she started thinking back and she said, well, I posted on LinkedIn about an event because she just started doing kind of trying to leverage LinkedIn and her connections there by letting them know more about what she does. So she posted about an event that she, facilitated and organized. And someone in her network reached out to her and said, one of her connections reached out and said, oh, I forgot that I don't know why I didn't think about this. I didn't realize or forgot that you did this thing. And that's exactly what we're looking for this new project that's coming up. We need someone that can do basically the same thing that she was describing or posted about doing. So it reminded someone in her network that this is what she does. And they were also looking to fill a need for someone that does that same work. And so now they were having conversations about what the details are and her putting together a proposal and how they could work together. That, as simple as that, is how the magic happens. That's how it works. The people in your network, we think all sorts of things, which has us hold us back from really talking about. Maybe you have this hang up about what networking means, or you feel some kind of way about networking. But really and truly, it's about making sure that your close people who already know you, already trust you, already like you, know what you do and what problem you solve, so that they can either know to reach out to you for their own purposes, or they know how to refer you when someone in their network is looking for someone like you. So in this case, this client was really my client was just kind of following some advice that I shared with her about being more present to her network in general, letting them know on a regular basis. So she has these events that she organizes and facilitates, and that's a service that she offers. And she's always recording herself. She has content from, her speaking or the engagements themselves. So a while back, we talked about how she can leverage that and start posting that content and attracting the right clients to her. So it worked really well, because when she started talking about, and she didn't really think about how she got that client. She was just sharing a story about this new proposal she's putting together. And when I paused and said, well, how did you get that client? And we went back, we realized it was because of how she was sharing to her network what she does and keeping that top of mind. So that is so important, right? You want to keep your network really fresh and up to date about the problems you solve, so that they can either know that you're the resource when they need you, or they can refer you when someone in their network needs the same type of resource. Okay, so let me share another example with you. And this example stems from a client one of my coaching clients to be specific, because I have consulting business and I'll often give it consulting examples, but these are coaching clients that I'm talking about. So this client has a business, and she said, I really need a new client right now. So things were really busy for a while, and she was so wrapped up in delivering client work that she slowed down on her networking. So now that she wrapped up all of the client projects, she found that there was a little bit of a gap where she needed to get that momentum back up with connections and new prospects. I'm going to pause right there for a second because that really has a whole lot to do with why I wanted to dive deeply in this conversation, this topic with you all today on this episode. It is so easy for that to happen to all of us. We do all the work. We are networking. We're talking to people. We're posting, doing things to attract the right clients. And then our rosters get full and we're busy delivering the work. And we stop doing the thing that got us the work in the first place. So we lose that cycle, that momentum. So while we're busy delivering the work, 3-4 months will pass by. And then we try to lift up and look for the next client and we don't have anyone in the pipeline. What I really want you to do is develop and create a habit and a pattern where you are consistently networking, because that way you're keeping people coming to you while you're delivering these clients. So in this case, this client that I'm talking about I need to get some new clients out. I get it. I should have consistently been doing that. And I didn't. So now I have this gap here. So what do I do? So we talked about it and we came up with a recommendation for her. So remind your network of what you do, the problem you solve, and that you are a resource. So she did exactly that. We came up with a strategy for, how she could do that to re-engage. And the next thing I know, she tells me, oh, I have so many messages to respond to. My calendar is full. It really jump-started all this activity for her. And out of that flurry of activity, she realized, okay, there's some things I need to tweak and what I want to do to make sure I'm getting the right people to my calendar. And this flurry of activity is helping me to realize some things that I need to do a little differently as she's continuing to grow. So she realized that, okay, and some of you may have already been through this, but she's like, okay, well, I did not keep that momentum going, but now I've got to regain it and then make sure that I can keep it going consistently moving forward. So that brings me to the watch out that I just shared. When you get clients, you really don't want to stop what you were doing to get those clients. You want to be able to deliver and serve the clients you have while still keeping people coming and attracted to you, which is what we call the pipeline. You want to always have those conversations. So a couple things I'll share with you and ways that you can do that. One is going to be hold space on your calendar for these kinds of conversations. So hold space, meaning your availability to meet with people and to have these networking conversations. Maybe it's people that you reach out to, previous coworkers, or just people that you know, and just letting, catching up, finding out what they're doing and where they are, and then letting them know what you're doing and what's new and upcoming for you so that you stay top of mind. So if you always have some space on your calendar for this, then you'll consistently look to fill those spots and always have those conversations. So for example, if you go a whole month and you have not had one sales conversation or one networking conversation where you're sharing about what you do and the opportunities, then that's probably a red flag. So it's just something to think about. You want to be able to have these consistent conversations. And then the second thing I want to share with you is patterns. So yes, it's one thing to hold space, but think about what the cadence should look like for you. Maybe you want to have these kind of conversations. You want to have once a week, you want to have a conversation with someone in your network about what you do, a networking conversation. Or maybe once a week is too much. Maybe it's twice a month that you decide that you need to do it. Or maybe you're really busy. You may think, I'm at capacity. I have no space for a new client. You still can have them on a wait list. You're still going to need clients in the future. So maybe you have once a month, you have a conversation. But I think it's important that you have consistency in having these conversations and hosting these conversations. So I'm going to leave you with that. I think that's something that is overlooked, easily overlooked. And if you've done it, don't beat yourself up. It happens. And if you haven't gotten there yet, just take note up front that as you start all the things you're doing to get those first clients, once you get the client, don't stop. That's the message I want you to have. You want to consistently have networking conversations. Whether you think you need a client right away or not, it's a good practice to consistently have networking conversations. And you get to be as picky as you want to be about who gets on your calendar. I applaud you for being particular about that because your time is precious. And the people that you're meeting with, it needs to be a good value of their time. So it would be easy to have the conversations with people you already know. And so think of it as catching up with an old friend. And maybe once, twice a month, or maybe once a week, you're catching up with an old friend and letting them know what you do and finding out what they do and keeping notes on that and keeping that consistently flowing. And when you get really busy, you can slow it back from once a week to one, or maybe twice a month or once a month, but just don't stop. That's the key. You need to always have networking conversations. All right. As we wrap up, I would like to remind you that there are 2 ways that I can support you on this journey of public health entrepreneurship. If you're looking for personalized guidance, like more of what we've talked about on these episodes, but just kind of customized to you or helping you figure some things out and sort through some things, if that's what you want, then let's work together one-on-one. As someone who understands the unique challenges of being an interdisciplinary leader, I can help you turn your innovative ideas into reality. Or if you are ready to join a community of high-functioning leaders like yourself, consider applying for our premium mastermind group program. You'll connect with other professionals like you who are bridging multiple disciplines and creating meaningful change in public health. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more. Links are also provided in the description for this episode and in the show notes. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.